Hi, I'm Dwayne of Revelation Cable Company, and this is the Beer and Gear Show. Today we have Jason Corbett of the band Actors. He's the guitarist and singer, the writer. He's the owner of Jacknife Sound in Vancouver, and he also composes music for TV and film. Welcome, Jason.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, well, we usually just start with the beer. And
Okay.
I know you are not a drinker, so we've decided to go with the non-alcoholic beer today.
Yes.
Which is new.
Yeah, you've been very kind. I was really excited to see what you've brought for non-alcoholic beer, because my experience with it in the past has not been great.
Yeah, mine either. My dad would buy some terrible beer at Safeway.
Yeah,
And,
Warsteiner or something, usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a little research and I found a place in Ontario called Partake Brewing. 0.3% alcohol. It's a blonde.
We're going to be here all day with that percentage.
That's kind of the idea.
Yeah, I love it.
All right.
That's it. Now we try it.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. Thoughts?
It's blonde.
It's good. There's no weird metallic aftertaste.
That's true.
You know, like the non-alcoholic beers that I've tried before, it's like, it's all the bad things about beer, but none of the good. But this is like, yeah, I could drink this at a social event.
It's definitely kind of refreshing. It's like summer.
Either I'm really
beer.
thirsty or it's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of those ones that I think could grow on me. I mean, it definitely doesn't have that kind of alcohol-y flavor to it, but
And it's only 15 calories?
That's one of the things that I was reading, that they're not only non-alcoholic, but they're pretty low in calories.
Amazing. So low in sugar, must be.
Yeah, probably.
0 fat. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Doesn't get any better. Funny, my inclination is to drink it fast, just as if I was still drinking beer for real.
Yeah, it'd be entertaining.
Yeah, I just want to poke it with a key and do a shotgun.
Nice. Well, you know what? We do have extras. So
Oh, yeah?
You can drink more.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Tell me a little bit about Actors. I mean, I first discovered you when people that I was following on Instagram kept posting pictures of the cover and saying how awesome this band was, and I was like, okay, I better check them out. And so I looked you up on YouTube and found the KEXP.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the KEXP performance was, I would say, kind of a pivotal moment where we were recognized in Seattle by them, and then filming it. A lot of people all over the world have seen that video, and so it was kind of it was bittersweet, because we had just come off tour. I'd slept for about 2 hours, and then we went in at like 6 in the morning to set up and film that. And I can see every time I watch that video, I think, my God, I was so tired. But people seem to enjoy it enough that they follow through and have come out to shows as far away as, Spain and Portugal and, all through Europe. So I'm very thankful for that. But really, you touched on something that has been really important for us, not being on like a major label. We're on Artifact Records, which has been fantastic. But, it's not $1 million budget to promote the album. So it really is people sharing, whether it's the album cover or whatnot, and that helps promote us as a band. And I'm just happy that the album resonated, the music resonates enough with people that they feel compelled to share that. So it's led to a lot of wonderful things this year. It's been a game changer for me.
Yeah. Well, it's a great album. I
Thank
keep
you.
listening to it over and over again. I like it a lot. It's got that kind of, I don't know if I want to say retro feel, but it's definitely like, gives you that feeling of when you were young, but
Right.
it still kind of brings it into the 21st century.
Right. I think like writing that record, I had given up on trying to write music for other people or like trying to guess what people would like.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that I just went to writing probably what influenced me growing up, and what I liked hearing in my ear just naturally goes to like the arrangements of an 80s song, you know, the simplicity of it. And then certain instrumentation is 80s. So it just kind of ended up sounding like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all a happy accident, really.
Yeah, I think it seems like there's a lot of space in the instruments where you're not playing guitar for the whole song. It's just very open.
Yeah, I think that's the apologetic guitar player in me. I was a shredder in the late 80s and 90s, and as a young teen trying to play as fast as I could, and you know it fell out of fashion at some point, and I think ever since I've been like playing that part of my musicianship down.
Mm-hmm.
So with actors, also I was much more into exploring synthesizers and different textures, and I'm a big fan of movie soundtracks like Clockwork Orange, Blade Runner, all those soundtracks that so many people like.
Mm-hmm.
So the guitar really had to serve a purpose. It just it couldn't just carry the song.
Right. That kind of brings me to the idea of like guitar effects and how you use them in your recording. Like, do you come to the song with just like a clean guitar and then figure out what effects you want after, or do you come at it with?
I sometimes the effects will inspire the actual part. I'm a big fan of like, you know, different types of modulated delays, warbly choruses, you know, vibrato kind of pedals that change the sound. It takes you a little bit out of the straight classic rock guitar sounds.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it evokes a certain feeling just upon hearing it, whether it's unease, being slightly wavering out of tune, or so. To answer your question, I commit to the sound recording it for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Guitar is usually one of the last things that I'll write and record on the record, on the songs. So I kind of can get a feel already of where it needs to sit. And then after the fact, once it's recorded, you know, I sometimes add like a stereo effect in the box just to give it more spaciousness. But I'm a big fan of trying different cool pedals out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I use a lot of different things in the studio all the time.
Yeah, we'll have to show some pictures of all the pedals that you got for your studio.
Yeah, like Chase Bliss has been super kind to me. I've got a bunch of their pedals. Alexander pedals have been really great for in the studio. I have a hard time using them live because to recreate some of those sounds without using MIDI, I think to control it, they're a little tricky. But
we'll have to
really
figure that out.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, and then like also traveling with pedals, I try and keep my footprint as small as possible too, because of flying, because we're flying in and out of different countries and cities so much. Yeah.
Well, I know the Alexander, their other brand, Disaster Area, has a thing called the MIDI Baby.
Right.
And it's a single foot switch, kind of like the size of even smaller than the tap tempo.
Right.
But it recalls presets.
Oh, really?
So that might be an easy way to use those live.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I'm into exploring all of these interesting things over my non-alcoholic beer.
Awesome. You also are a producer at Jacknife Sound here.
Yes.
How does that come about? I mean, this isn't a huge studio.
No, it's small. It's a small footprint. There's a lot of gear packed in here.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you ever use outside studios to record like full drums?
I do, yeah. Yeah. Right next door in the same building, we've got Rain City Recorders. I love using that room to do drums. I've worked on lots of projects there. The Gathering, Art Deco, Boot Black, Spectres, we've all done drums over there. I've worked over at Monarch, where I've done the Mezzaluna record, drums, Frankie, and then I've done drums in this room as well. The latest Gang Signs record, Delivery, we did the drums just set up in here. So really, it's just using different rooms to serve different purposes. And but when it comes to the rest of the production, whether it's guitars, vocals, synths, I like working out of this room because I have a more point of reference, and you can hear right away how things are sitting, as opposed to getting used to a different room, you know. But really what it boils down to is, you know, using your taste and your experience with different projects and different styles of music and different pieces of gear, and listening to the universe, and just doing your best to bring out what the song wants to be, and making the artists feel comfortable. And even though the room's small, it's been a comfortable room. So
yeah. Well, maybe we should look at some of your guitars and
sure,
tell us what you like about them and what kind of...
Okay, yeah, this is exciting. I didn't know we were going to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to first of all check out this guitar. These are the Revstar from Yamaha. Yamaha has been super rad to actors. They set us up with Revstar. I've got the Yamaha amp simulation head that I've been using in the studio. Jamil's been using his Ampeg rig, and he's also playing Yamaha bass. And in the studio, they've been incredible guitars as well. Set up really well. They feel great. Plays better than my Les Paul played. So I brought them on tour, used them in the studio on different records, and really fantastic guitars. Yeah.
Well, I love the design on these things.
I know.
And I did play one before, and it sounds really good.
Yeah. Like jumbo frets, so all the way up the neck. They play really well. Like you can just, it's out of tune, but they really play nice. My Strats, I like a Strat. The contour of it feels nice on the body when you're playing, but they don't ring out or sustain or feel or play as evenly, in my opinion, as the Revstars. And they're a really good deal. They retail for, you know, well under $1,000. So I think for the price point, they're one of the better guitars, and they look cool.
They do.
You know, like
that's got a great finish on
yeah, it's great. It's like, what is that? Like some sort of flame top they call it, or? But yeah, I think this is the 620. Yeah, this is a 620. So yeah, rad guitar. What else?
The Jazzmaster.
Yeah, I've got my Jazzmaster. This is my 62 reissue. I played this a lot. And again, it's one of the guitars that when people are at the studio, they're like, oh, I want to play that. Yeah. You know, the Offset has really made a comeback over the past 5-6 years. A lot of people really like the style of them. And they sound really cool with that kind of real aggressive kind of single coil tone, you know, pushing them through like a high gain pedal. They sound really cool. And then of course with the tremolo arm you can do the glide playing to get that kind of real shoegazy sound with your delays and reverbs, and yeah, really cool guitar.
Yeah, I've got a Jazzmaster. That's one of my favorites.
Do you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've played some of the newer ones, older ones. Like they're just cool guitars. That being said, like I think the scale of them is different too, right? They're like a longer scale.
They are.
Yeah.
Although I've played some that feel longer than others.
Yeah.
I don't know if it depends on the year. Or,
yeah.
I don't know. I played some from 59 to in the 70s, and then some of the newer ones, and they all feel a little bit different.
Right.
Mine's a 64, and it doesn't feel very long.
Yeah, I think some of the ones that the distance from here to the bridge are different. Like, I think I read that. Like, so I wonder if that has something to do with it. But yeah, sorry it's so dirty. Got fingerprints all over it.
Is that? Did you put in a new bridge on that?
No, this is
Or
all
like
all
this?
stock. Oh yeah, this is
Saddles.
I think this is a Mustang bridge.
Okay.
I think it was just a way of getting the string to not pop out of the standard bridge, and it was like an $18 bridge. You know, I want to put in a mastery bridge, but I just haven't got around to it.
Yeah, that's what I have. It took me a long time to get one.
Yeah.
And now I will not go back.
Yeah.
Right. But that's probably the next best thing.
Yeah, it just was a quick fix. This thing definitely needs a setup beyond what I can do with it right now. But yeah, it's been a really cool guitar. I really like it. And you know, that's the thing about the Strats and the Jazzmaster, having that contour in the back, and they're sexy guitars. Like, you know, you can play them on stage and feel really comfortable with them. They become almost like a part of your body. Mm-hmm. Whereas some guitars, like even a Telly, feels a bit more angular to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I really like to go periods of time playing different kinds of guitars. Right now I'm playing, for this last tour, I've been playing a Strat with a stacked kind of a single coil humbucker from Seymour Duncan. Mm-hmm. So it's actually a humbucker, so there's no buzz. Because I find going to different countries and different power, the single coils can get really noisy. So that was a fix for me.
Right.
And in the studio, it's different guitars all the time for whatever the purpose is. You know, I like to, if I'm going to double track something, I definitely like to use two different guitars. You know, create that more girth to the sound.
Great. What else we got here?
What else? Oh, well, here's a new bass that I just got.
I did notice that.
Yeah. Not normally the color that I would go for, but it's, oh man, and I can't say his name. Justin, is it Mendelsohn?
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
I think so.
So yeah, he plays with Beck. He played in Nine Inch Nails. This is his signature bass. It's the short scale Mustang, and it's, you know, it's road worn, flat wounds on it, and just kind of has a tonality to it that someone brought this in to record on a session with a group called Mully and Skulder. Am I saying it right? Because I always get it wrong. Because it's Scully and Mulder from X-Files, and so they've done it backwards.
Right.
Yeah. And so Aaron Trory, who's a local artist, who's in that band, really talented guy, really nice guy. Anyways, he knew I loved it, and he brought it in. He's like, "Yeah, I'll trade it for you for some studio time." And I was like, "Yes." So yeah, because I really wanted to get one, because as soon as I heard it, I was like, "That's the sound I don't have in the studio right now that I really want." So yeah, it's really cool. Short scale. It just plays different. It's a little easier to play. The flat wounds are percussive in a different way. It's a really neat bass. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, a bass player I used to play with had one of these, and I found it at a pawn shop.
Really?
Yeah, like an old 70s Mustang bass.
Yeah.
And left-handed.
Oh, yeah? and
which is rare.
And was he left-handed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought maybe he flipped it around.
No.
Yeah, we saw a black one in a music store. Where were we? Atlanta? Somewhere in Georgia. And we almost bought it, but it's like, well, we have this one here, and while we were on tour with Actors. So we refrained from buying it, and I kind of regret it, because it was like this really cool old 70s one. But there's always more.
True.
Yeah.
There's always way more.
Way more. Yeah. I've got a bunch of guitars that are in storage, and I'm always looking at more. I've had my eye on a Flying V.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if I should, but I've been looking at them and thinking like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
But the ones I like are really expensive.
Of course.
Yeah. I like the one with the binding and, like, you know, the fancy fret inlay, but they're cool. Like, they're cool. I think they're cool because they're not cool.
Right.
You know, like there's something not cool about them. So I'm like, I like that. And I think that's what people were doing with like the Jazzmasters and stuff like that. Like they weren't the go-to Fender, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I guess the story is in the 90s they were really cheap, so people were buying them.
Yeah, that's when I got mine.
Yeah. So yeah.
And then Nirvana exploded.
Right.
And
Yeah.
he definitely played those kind of offsets.
Yeah.
More Mustang, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're ready for beer number 2. Give you that.
I'm feeling it. I'm getting a little tipsy.
Yeah. So was it Central City Brewing in Surrey, BC, Canada? Red Racer, and it's Street Legal Pilsner.
Wait, it's from Surrey and it's street legal?
I know. Kind of crazy.
There's some promise here. Cheers to number 2.
Yep.
That tastes more like beer.
It does. I probably wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah, it does taste real. Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's got a little bit more bite than the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Than the last one.
It's that 0.2% addition.
Yeah.
Maybe? Oh.
There's more calories, so there's more weight to it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is good. This would make me feel like I'm actually drinking if I was at a party. I'd be like, yeah, it's street legal.
They probably wouldn't even know.
They would yep. Have people over to your house. They'd be like, that was really good beer, but it was a really boring night. It's like, but no one would know why.
Yeah.
And they're just like, it was a really boring party. Because you were all sober. I know.
Well, I wonder if they psychologically would just start acting stupid.
Yeah. I bet.
It's like they think they're drinking.
Yeah. Oh, that would work.
Let's see some of these pedals you got here.
Okay. So, yeah, we talked about some of the guitars, which is great. I've got a few pedals. So basically, there's some go-tos and a kind of couple of pedals that I want to at least note that I've used that I've been really stoked with. First one, little secret, is this cheap guy. It's Behringer. It's their UV300 Ultra Vibrato. And that's based on the classic Boss vibrato pedal that they now do the Wazacraft version of.
Yeah.
I don't know what the actual... I'm drunk. What did you do to me? I don't know what they based on. I don't know what the actual name of the Boss pedal is, but it's the classic vibrato.
Right.
Anyways, it was recommended to me at Exile Music Store when I was there. It's like, hey, check this out. And it was dirt cheap, and it does something magical. And I've used it on so many projects, so many guitars. I just set it at like the depth real, like at 1, the rate at like at minimum, the rise at minimum, and it gives you just a hint of the guitar bending a bit in the best way. And it helps guitar players that aren't very good too, because you think that it's bending on purpose.
Right.
If they're like, say, if they can't,
sharp.
if they can't finger the chord properly or something, you put something like this or a chorus on, and then all of a sudden, it's part of the performance.
Very nice.
Yep.
I have seen a lot of people using like a Boss vibrato the same way that you're talking about. It's just like an always on.
Yeah.
And it's like you almost don't realize that there's a vibrato on there, but it just gives it something special.
It's that longer kind of flow, ebb and flow to it. I blame Boards of Canada for my lust of modulating and detuning and all that kind of stuff. I feel like they were so ahead of their time in terms of tapping into that retro kind of sound with that, old tape machines that are, half broken kind of feel, or like old analog synths. And I really like to recreate that with this. It does a really great job of doing that.
I'll have to try that one now.
Yeah, so highly recommended. And if it breaks, which it probably will because it's made of plastic, but this one hasn't. You can just buy another one. They're like a quarter of the price of like a pedal.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like toys, but they sound great. There's a YouTube video on Behringer, and the guy who started Behringer, like, he's killing it. Like they have a whole factory where they make things, and apparently other manufacturers go to Behringer for like certain chips and pieces and parts. I know with synthesizers they do. I'm gonna, because I'm inspired now, I have to grab this. This is that Model D that Behringer made. It's analog. It looks kind of like basically the topography of a Moog Model D. And I thought, when I saw it in the store, I thought, oh, it's little knobs. It's like the boutique. It's going to be digital. It's not going to sound great. This thing rips. I got it as a floor model, so I think it was just under $500, basically still in the box kind of thing. And it does the Model D thing so well. And I think Behringer, literally, the stigma about it being like this cheap knockoff company, it detoured people at first, but they're offering so much for so cheap that it's going to be hard not to buy the stuff, because it's like, well, the fetish of this old gear has driven up prices of these classic synthesizers so much that it's just out of the price range for most people. And you know, the proof's in the pudding, and your ears can tell you what you need. And you know, I was shocked at how good it sounds. And I've just been, I talk about it to so many different people, because you wouldn't think it. You just look at it, you're like, oh, it looks like, but it's actually a decent build, and it's analog, and people are saying like, yeah, like the parts in it are legit.
Yeah.
But anyways, sidetrack. Let's go back to pedals.
That's great.
Let's see. Here's another surprise. This is great. So DOD, a company that I haven't bought anything from them since probably I was 15, and I kind of had written them off as like whatever. These were getting, there was a promotion on them. They were like $150 or something like that.
I saw that.
Yeah. So I thought, oh, this looks pretty neat, a rubberneck analog delay. But see, even like it doesn't look like a boutique pedal. Like you wouldn't look at it and go like, oh, it does all this cool stuff. And it's kind of like, oh, it's kind of ugly. I think like it doesn't, like, it's not aesthetically like, oh, that's a sexy pedal. It's like, it looks very function orientated.
I kind of like the way it looks. But
Yeah.
That's just me.
I don't hate it. But like when you compare it to like the fancy paint jobs of like, you know, Alexander pedals or like Earthquaker device or whatever, you know, which are great, which we're going to look at too. But once I tried it out, like this is getting lots of play. Like running synthesizers through this, it gets into that like oscillation feedback of like a tape delay. It's got the rubberneck effect is basically like a rate and depth of like a warbly modulation on it. And it's just this fully functional, amazing tap tempo analog delay that really, like, I'm using it over my Space Echo Roland. Like, it's as exciting. So I really recommend these. I think they've gone up in price, like back to what they were supposed to be. But if you see one, definitely check it out. Pick one up if you're into cool modulating delays and you want to run a synth through it, guitar, anything.
Well, it looks like it has a lot of functionality. Like,
yeah, it really does. Yeah, like you've got your tail on, off, or you can have no dry signal, just the delayed signal. You've got a gain and tone of the actual sound of the delay. So to go for that kind of Boards of Canada, like you roll off the tone, add a little bit of gain, and it's this darker delay. And then you've got that rubberneck, which is that modulation, which you can turn the rate right down, and the depth is the kind of like 12 o'clock sweet spot where it's it's just doing that kind of a little bit of that seasick tape warble kind of thing. And then, yeah, the repeats kind of get into this oscillation really easily, and it's very musical. And then, yeah, tap tempo, and then the level. It's really great. And you've got foot switch, you've got a effects loop. So yeah, it's a good pedal, great pedal.
Great.
Yeah, and it's all over the Bootblacks record too. Don't tell them.
They didn't know.
I want to mention Chase Bliss. This guy is awesome. I've used this a lot when I'm running a drum machine and I want to get a crazy cool distortion. Basically, you've got two different types of gain stage in the same box. I hope I'm saying that correctly. So you've got a boost, drive, and a fuzz on both sides. You can run them parallel. You can stack them in each direction, or you can run one at a time. And one's FET, and the other one's I don't know the technical term for what kind of distortion is, but they're slightly different. And really it gives you basically any type of distortion / fuzz kind of combination that you want. So super flexible pedal, and dip switches for performance, expression pedal, stuff that you can do with it. Really great pedal. I think the Chase Bliss stuff is really unique. It's not the cheapest brand for pedals, but I think the quality's there. What they do is really amazing, and it's very suited for someone who's into tweaking, you know, and like really zoning in on like getting your own tone out of their products. It's not a go-to like, oh, I just step on it and there I go.
Which is the MIDI functionality,
right,
can help you with that.
Yeah. Which is something that I've yet to look into, but you're good at that stuff, so we'll talk.
Right. It's amazing how much he can squeeze into a small enclosure.
It's crazy. And again, like really, like I reached out to them a couple of years ago now, and you know, I ordered direct from them, got a few different pedals from them. I've got the Tonal Recall, Warped Vinyl. I've had other pedals from them as well, kind of on loan, and just really great quality stuff. Yeah. Another pedal that I ended up using on the last Actors record on a song called Bird in Hand, which was like an instrumental, is called the Syntax Air from Alexander. This is a pedal I like to, I don't even understand how it works half the time or what it does. I just flip through and tweak it. It's got a bunch of different settings. It does a stretch, like a ring modulation, frequency, kind of shift, cube, and then basically you've got a sample rate that you can kind of take it down to like however many bits, and it just gets crushing into like a cheap computer land, like dial-up modems and stuff like that. But it's a really interesting way of adding a little bit of distortion or texture or unpredictability into your effects chain that is pretty unique to this pedal. So I've really, there's a time and place for it. It's not good on everything, but definitely when the time is right, it's a really neat pedal. Yeah.
Definitely a cool graphic. Kind of got that 80s.
Yeah. I love the Alexander. Alexander's great. Like I've got a few of their pedals now, and they do that kind of F shit up real good. Pardon my French. Like it's just really cool. You step on and just kind of tweak it around, and it sounds different. Another pedal which I don't have here, it's on my pedal board for my touring rig, is the Walrus Slow. I'm super picky about my reverbs that I use on stage. Certain reverbs to me sound too digital and strange, and something about the slow. It's got this nice dark modulating. There's the keyword modulating again. Feature to it that I really love. And there's a hold function. So if you hit a note and it's ringing out, you tap on the hold, and it's just infinite hold of that reverb. And then you can play over top of that.
Oh yeah, that's great.
It's a neat segue or like kind of outro to a song live. And it's just a really cool pedal. I hadn't used Walrus before, but after seeing a YouTube video on it, I was really excited about it. And the price point was great. And on tour, a lot of guitar players were like, what's that reverb pedal you got there? What's it doing? So it does enough that people were, could pick out that it's a special pedal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of good things. It's on a lot of top 10 lists for the year.
Yeah. 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 Really great pedal. So yeah, those are some of the pedals that I've been using. Some of the go-tos. And then there's your standards, like different chorus pedals. Like I really like the Electro-Harmonix small clone. That's been on my pedal board or some version of it for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've been through probably 5 of them. So that's a real cool kind of Killing Joke 80s extreme chorus that other choruses don't really seem to do.
Right.
It's got a tone, or like the Come As You Are Nirvana kind of.
Yeah.
It's
got its own thing going on.
Yeah, like the clone theory or the small clone. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
really cool. Electro-Harmonix does a lot of cool stuff.
They do.
Yeah.
They seem to come up with things that nobody else does. Very odd, but usable in so many different ways.
Mm-hmm. Like there's that new tape simulation pedal they have where you can do like reverse tape effects. They've got them on back order in town here, and watching the video on that set, they look amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And very unique. I will say, and I feel bad saying this, but because this is going to be public, maybe they'll hear it, is Electro-Harmonix. I wish that their builds were better, because out of all my pedals, the only pedals that break and actually kind of consistently are my Electro-Harmonix pedals.
Is it the switch, or is it more than that?
More than that. Like my Pog just stopped working. I had someone try and fix it. They're like, can't fix it. I've been through 4 small clones. My clone theory broke. Like something inside breaks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do them a disservice. I think they're amazing products. I think they sound great. I think the price points are great. My older Electro-Harmonix pedals, like from a long time ago, like, let's see, I've got like this old small stone. Sounds great. No problems with it. No issues. Like, I don't think I'm particularly hard on my pedals, but so that's like, you could build a house with a Boss pedal. You can use it as a hammer. And like the Chase Bliss and my Alexander pedal, like, pedals are in a metal case. They should hold up.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to harp on them too much because I do like them.
Well, they've got great designs. It's just hopefully they keep working.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you do the music for Letterkenny.
Mm-hmm.
How did that come about?
So Letterkenny was created by a gentleman named Jared Kiso, and he's from out east originally. When he came to Vancouver, this is going back a while now, he was looking for a job, and I hired him as a barback at a restaurant/bar that I was managing, and we became friends. And he's a music guy and a musician, and he has his ear to the ground with really cool bands and great music. What I'm trying to say, he's got good taste. So he licenses a lot of great music for the TV show, and it works really well. When there's original music that needs to be written for certain parts or certain episodes, he will shoot me an email and then kind of explain what he needs, and then I send it to him. So it's really just friendship and from working together in a restaurant to him, working as an actor and then developing this great show that's become this really a huge success.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really great show. And so luckily, he's been very, very kind to, extend that olive branch to myself and have me a part of the creative team in the music department for, making music together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a really interesting and rewarding process.
Well, and it looks like they've kind of even gotten more popular now. They got picked up by Hulu.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think the next, the sky's the limit for the show, really.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's going to be a lot coming down the pipe too. Not that I know, but I think this show's just going to continue to grow, and deservedly so. I think from what I understand, everyone involved with the show is good people.
Yeah.
And it's a fun show. Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much for being here.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah. And yeah, it's been a pleasure using your cables on tour.
Oh.
That's another thing I was going to say was, whenever we've been breaking down, setting up and stuff like that, as soon as someone handles the cable, they're like, "What's this?" Yeah, we've toured all over with your cables, all over the world, and they've been awesome. So it's been a quality product. They look great, they feel great, and they even roll up in tiny little rolls. And we've got our custom red ones that we love. So I want just thank you for having me, and thanks for making a great product.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome. All right. Bye.
The Beer and Gear Show is brought to you by Revelation Cable Company. Please like, subscribe, and comment below.